In this video, I'm going to show you how to search and organize your mail in Outlook using Python. Also, I'm going to show you a method for recursively searching and collecting every message in your account folder that meets your search criteria. This is a method you can customize for whatever search operation you want to perform on your own. This video is part of a series on how to get the most out of Outlook using Python. I'm going to demonstrate this lesson using a Jupyter notebook, but you can use any IDE or code editor you wish. So, without further ado, let's get started. First, go ahead and import the Win32com library and start up an instance of Outlook. Next, since we're going to be working with folders, we need to create the namespace object. Since I don't have a lot of mail in my testing account, I'm going to go ahead and show you this with my Gmail account, which I've connected to my Outlook application. This makes it possible to access and manipulate my Gmail with the Win32com library through the namespace object. Now, typically I would use the getDefaultFolder method to access folders, but since my Gmail account isn't the default profile in Outlook, I need to explicitly ask for it. So all I need to do to access my Gmail account folder is to index it with the account name as the key. And to get the inbox, it's the same process. I can confirm that I have the correct folders by printing the folder name and the parent folder name. We're first going to do a simple search. There's actually a search mechanism built into the Outlook API. You're free to look it up. However, after about 15 minutes, I realized it was going to be much simpler and more useful to use a pure Python approach, using the objects that we've already learned about so far in this series. As you know, each folder contains an items collection, and that collection contains Outlook objects. Because I'm in a mail folder, the items collection contains email messages, and you can access any of the message properties. We're going to use this knowledge to search those property values for specific terms. The easiest way to get what you want is to use the string methods starts with, ends with, and then the equals and in operators. Let's see how this works in real life. I'm going to use a list comprehension to collect every message in my inbox that has a sender email address that ends with youtube.com. If I print these messages, I can see that they are indeed YouTube emails. What I'm going to do next is create a YouTube email folder in my inbox with the folders.add method, saving a reference to it with the YT_folder variable. Then I'm going to move all of these YouTube messages to that folder using the move method, passing in the target folder object as the argument. Because I used sender email address ends with youtube.com, I'm moving any email address with that ending. So for example, if you wanted to collect all emails you received from different people but who all worked at the same company, you could collect those emails in this way, as long as they all end with the same term. The starts with string method works just the same, but in reverse. And the equals operator would match the term exactly. So for example, if I had a specific email address I wanted to filter, I could use the equals operator. Let's do one more simple search technique before we move on to something a little more advanced. Let's collect all messages in my inbox where the term deal is in the body of the email. For this, we're going to use the body property, and we're going to use the string method lower so that I don't have to worry about capitalization. Okay, let's go ahead and print all of these sender email addresses. Yeah, it makes sense that I would be catching these messages. They're all people trying to sell me stuff I don't need. And if I print the subject line, let's create a folder in the inbox called junk stuff, and we'll move all of these messages into that folder. Are you enjoying this video so far? If so, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Now for something a bit more advanced. Up to now, we've been performing searches in a single folder. But as you can see here, I have many folders in my Gmail account and the inbox is only one of them. What if I wanted to search every folder for messages containing a specific term or phrase? In order to do this, I need to use recursion. A recursive function is one that calls itself. If that sounds strange, it is. But it's also awesome, as you'll see shortly. And for some reason, recursion makes me think of Russian dolls. So let's create a function called mailbodySearch. And this function is going to accept two arguments, the search term and the folder object. Now, the logic of this function is as follows. I'm going to collect every message in the folder that meets the criteria I specify. I'm also going to return the parent name so that you can see what subfolders it's coming from. Now, this isn't required, I just want you to be able to see that we are indeed searching all folders. I'm then going to check to see if there are any subfolders. If not, I'm done. This is the criteria that ends this infinite loop, and this is also called the base case. And every recursion formula needs a base case. However, if there are subfolders, I'm going to call this function on each of those subfolders, adding the returned results to my relevant message list, and repeating this Russian doll exercise until at some point I reach that base case. A folder has no subfolders. I highly recommend doing a search on YouTube for recursion if you want to learn more about this topic. It's very useful, and once you get the hang of it, you can do some pretty cool things. Finally, my function will return the collected search results once I reach that base case and my Russian doll function rolls up the results. Okay, let's try this out. I'm going to search for the term Python in my Gmail account. And since I want to include all folders, I'm going to start with the account level folder. I'm going to go ahead and save this to a CSV file. Because I have so many emails, it's going to be much easier for you to see what I have here. I'm going to output the parent folder and then the subject line. You can see that I've hit many folders here, so I know that it worked. Now, when you write this formula, you don't need to include the parent name in the results. I just did it for testing. However, if I wanted to move all of these emails or delete them, I now have a list of mail item objects that meet my search criteria, and I can do whatever I want with them at this point. You can see that with a little bit of code, you can quickly and easily automate and organize your mailbox with Python. And that's all, folks. If you want to see me make a video on some topic related to Outlook and Python, leave your ideas and thoughts in the comments section below. I'd love to hear what you have in mind. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this. See you in the next video.